Let me show you all of the camera features on the Realme GT 7 Pro. So first we need to launch our camera app. Then I'm going to cover all of the modes first, and after that we can move to the settings. So first one on the left is a street. Keep in mind that each of those modes have different settings on the screen, so you can check them out as well. Then there's the video. Then there's the photo. Next is portrait. And then we can enter more. In more, you have many more modes like a night, pro, high resolution, panoramic, movie, slow motion, time lapse, long exposure, and dual view video, underwater, and document scanner. Finally, last one is a tilt shift. And now when we have all of the modes covered, we can click on the three lines in the top right corner of the screen and enter the settings. You can also adjust the timer right here, forgot to mention that, for most of the modes. And in the settings we have a watermark that we can add to our photos. There's the compensation assistant, and you can enable or disable leveler as well as the grid and guides. Then there's the shutter sound that you can enable, disable, mirror selfie, enable, disable, add location tags, enable, disable, change the format to high efficiency image, you can enable that, or high efficiency video, let's disable that instead. Then we can move to preserve settings, and you can switch different settings for different modes, and it will basically keep them if you change them. Then there's the photo capture mode. We have touch and hold shutter button too, and we can record video or take a burst photo. We can change the shooting methods to tap to capture. That means you can tap anywhere on the screen to take a photo, or show palm to capture a photo by showing your palm to the camera. Next is the underwater. You can enable touch screen and physical buttons, use both touch screen and physical buttons in underwater mode, or use only physical buttons to capture that photos. Then there's the lens and focal length. You can change the more focal lengths to 28, 35 and 85. If you enable them all, you can change the default wide angle focal length to 1 time, 1.1 time, or 1.4 time. Then there's QR code scanning that you can enable, disable, portrait distortion correction, auto nightscape, and we can move to the video. There's two settings, audio modes that you can switch between smart and standard, a focus lock that you can enable or disable, handy features for volume button action, and we can choose volume, shutter, or zoom. That means you can change what your volume button will do when you press on it. There's a quick launch. Double press either volume button to launch the camera when the screen is off. You can enable or disable that. Then there's the features. There's a document scanner for each of the mode, about camera information, and privacy information. Finally, we can restore all of the default camera settings, and that is everything for the camera features.